to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Salvi drills it high in the air, deep left field, no doubt about it. It's a home run, a game-tying blast from the Royals captain.
Hampson had good at-bats. We already talked about Michael, Tommy's big hit, Salvi's homer. So it doesn't have to be from the same guys all the time. That's what makes a good team, that you're not relying on one or two people.
Nobody came into the field, so we had to find a place. A lot of area there, so just found a little grass patch there in the middle of Central Park, and seeing them playing a little catch there for a little bit. It was pretty cool.
Still feels the same that we're going to win it, I don't feel like anybody feels any different. We're going to go out there and do our thing still. We still don't feel like any team is better than us. Like you said, we had a lot of missed opportunities tonight, so they just got lucky.
Runner at first goes. The pitch swung on a high fly ball, right field deep. Back it up, Brennan. Back it up, turning around. It is gone! Carpenter touching them all. A 3-run bomb.
Handoff goes to Pirine. Behind right guard, trying to press forward. A bunch of bodies into the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City. Samaj Pirine, his first touchdown as a Kansas City Chief.
It's like when you go home, Scott. When you go home and you're sitting at your family's table, you know exactly what seat to sit in. You know exactly where to go in the cabinets to get what food. And in the hit, and on the other side of that, it makes your family comfortable with you.
At the end of the day, our defense is playing a tail off, and I think people are starting to come to realize that even more. So even when we're getting these field goals, they're keeping us in these games. Obviously, offensively, we had a better day today, a lot of yards. Now it's about finding ways to finish with touchdowns in the red zone.
On second down, Mahomes, Smith-Schuster. He's got a mile to run. Out of bounds inside the 15.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Welcome in Tuesday. Sports Day program. Steve Webster with you. Mike Corson is here. Mike Hesher running the controls for Landon Winkler, who is on assignment today. On the program, well, plenty of things to talk about from last night. How about the Royals and Yankees and Chiefs and Saints in Monday Night Football? Voice of the Houston Cardinals, Cole Reif, previewing Hoisington and Lakin Friday night at Elton Brown Field. Barton volleyball coach Megan Bessaker, they just continue to roll. They went to El Dorado last night to the power plant. Fancy name for a dump is where Butler plays their basketball and volleyball. And Cougars win it in 4 sets. And today she'll bring in middle blocker Anna Werbicki.
Nailed it.
Young ladies from Brazil, so we'll talk to her. Mike Corson going on the for Panther Sports today.
Got Coach Chewy Loera, Great Bend Soccer, and he's going to bring in homecoming king Diego Pasos, dual sporter, and goalkeeper Eli Contreras.
Okay, all right. Tuesday sports headlines. The sounds of the past 24 hours or so, and I do want to clarify. The wrong highlight was in there. We did get the long run.
Okay, so one of these days I'm going to get itchy fingers, and when you're on one of your pregame tirades, I'm going to hit the microphone button so everybody else can hear it. It's funny.
Okay, Hesh.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you label things in there, right?
That is correct, sir.
And there was one that was labeled Chiefs, correct?
Correct.
And then there was one that was labeled Chiefs 1.
I did not know what the Chiefs was this morning at 5:30, and I didn't want to take any chances of dubbing over something.
But wouldn't Chiefs 1 be the same as Chiefs?
Well, but if I would have dubbed over Chiefs 1, you would have been more mad now than if you were now. Right?
See, it's like when you go to Europe, you got to figure things out. Floor 1 is not the ground floor. It's floor 0 in Europe. So I don't know what.
I just heard this one too. First grade is not the first grade. Kindergarten is. So from the get go, it's wrong. It's second grade, first grade.
Anyway,
it will never happen again, Dr. Webster.
Just put Chiefs MNF, Monday Night Football.
Oh, God, that'd throw them all off.
Oh, it would. Okay, let's get to our sounds the past 24 hours or so. The call last night on KVGB, I missed this because I was watching the Chiefs game. Sorry, Mike. Doggone it. I saw it happen. Salvador Perez ties things in the fourth inning with a long home run. The Royals add 3 more in the fourth to go up 4-1. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. Cole Reagans, or Matt Quatrero, talking about getting production from other parts of the lineup. Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny Pasquantino combined 0 for 9. And a couple other players step up and get the job done. Cole Reagans. Mike Corson, we told you that Cole Reagans would give up 1 run over 4 innings, strike out 5 and walk 4 and give up 3 hits. Would you feel good about that result?
No, and you got to tie that in with the other things you just said. If you say one game you're going to have 8 walks, another game your ace is going to go off the hook a little bit, and your two of your 3 best hitters are going to go over, oof, this series is over. No, it's Kansas City has outscored them by 1 over the 2 games. It's tied going back into their home. I would say Royals fans have every reason to be very optimistic.
Oh, absolutely. And your bullpen, which you've relied on a lot, it doesn't, because you've had an off day between each of the 2 games.
It is still very frightening when they come in the 5th, just because a mistake goes a long ways at Yankee Stadium with those big guys with the mustaches. But to their credit, Ursa gave up. He made it scary last night. Leadoff home run in a 3-run game, gets the tying run at the plate with, no outs. But came through, battled through.
Yankees third baseman Jazz Chisholm says they're still very confident, and the Royals just got lucky last night.
I hope he's wrong.
Little bulletin board material.
Now batting for the Yankees, number 12, Jazz Chisholm.
Shake your 4-leaf clover at him.
All right, Royals get it tied. They will play tomorrow. We'll have the game for you at 5:30 here on KVGB. Thoughts on the win, Hesh?
Obviously a good win. Surprising because of the way Reagan's pitched, and then when he walked the first 2 batters, you're thinking you can't. And they have a pretty good success rate of not walking batters this year. I don't know. Is it the pressure of Yankee Stadium? I think, didn't Matt talk about that this morning, Matt Bright?
I don't know.
They showed him last night, and Ron Darling obviously has, what is he, World Series guy?
Yeah, the Mets.
They showed Reagan's up close, and he was working his mouth, and Darling says he can't get saliva right now. So that was an interesting, that's why I like the TBS guys. Sometimes they offer insights like that, because you wouldn't think a guy like Reagan's would get nervous, but maybe that was a little bit.
Well, it was his time in Central Park that we bothered him. He got stressed when he was in Central Park.
Nobody was watching him.
What was that? So the Yankees just didn't open up the stadium to practice?
All he said, if you listen to the bite, is they couldn't get into it. So I don't know if they closed it. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know if he said nobody was there, I think is what he says. Well, it was like, did the Royals have a team practice and nobody showed up? It's confusing to me.
Nobody came into the field, so we had to find a place.
Nobody came onto the field.
A lot of area there, so just found a little grass patch there in the middle of Central Park and seen them playing a little catch there for a little bit. It was pretty cool.
This reeks of the guitar player who thinks he's a virtuoso and, I couldn't get into my basement today, so I went down to the coffee shop. My suitcase just happened to be open for tips.
All right, well.
That was Bob Dylan-ish.
Maybe they like Central Park a lot. I don't know.
I will say, I love watching the toss pregame. Maybe it's the whatever rotation on that throws it. They start short, they work it to a good distance, and they absolutely rip it with accuracy. So if you're just biking or walking through Central Park, like, man, that guy can really throw a baseball really accurate.
It's amazing. They can hit them shoulder high from 300 feet away.
And they drill it. I mean, they're.
Well, that's why they're major league players, Mike.
Yep. Turns out they're a little better than the average person.
But he was hitting the middle of the plate and the corners, everything else from 300 yards away. But then when he got from 60 feet last night, he
should have stuck him in the outfield.
Well, that'd be an improvement in the outfield, in my opinion.
Okay. 5:30 tomorrow, Game 3, baseball, postseason play coming back to Kauffman Stadium. That will be the second of 2 games tomorrow because we will bring you the Tigers and Cleveland from Tiger Stadium tomorrow. That will start at 1:30. You heard the call there. How about that? 3-run homer. And the Tigers end up winning their game 3-0 over Cleveland. So all 4 series now tied at 1-1. We'll have 2 games for you today. We'll go back to the NLDS, 3:30 this afternoon, Game 3 between Philadelphia and New York. They're now in New York, as the Mets will host. And then tonight, San Diego hosting the L.A. Dodgers. That will roll around 7:30 or right after the Philadelphia-New York Mets game, depending on how long it goes.
Should KC win, that would be pretty neat. And all AL Central ALCS.
Yes.
So go Royals for extra incentive.
All right, the call last night, not in order of the way we played them. See, there's where he made sure to put Chiefs 1.
So it's on there, okay? Let's give me a little defense here. Chiefs 1 is on there. Would you like to hold it up to the camera? Hold on a second. Let me see if I get the camera over there.
See that little scratch?
Okay, hold on.
Well, I don't think it's that interesting. The call,
you brought it up.
The call on ESPN television, every Royals fan favorite person, Joe Buck. Wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster goes for 50 yards after former Chief. How come the Badgers not, or the Honey Bears not playing for the Chief? All the other ex-guys are, but
what did Joe Buck have to say about Madison Bumgarner last night?
She's still 50 yards. Smith-Schuster, 7 receptions, $130. The Chiefs end up winning last night. ESPN's Ryan Clark talking about all the different Chiefs that have come back to play. Man, Kareem Hunt looked good last night. Juju Smith-Schuster. Mecole Hardman, another Chief that came back last year, caught the winning pass in the Super Bowl. They all come back.
Is it just Kansas City and Minnesota now, 5-0?
Yep.
So there's a lot of parity in the league, and for a while it looked like it was going to be another one-possession game, but lo and behold, they kind of pulled away at the end. But, yeah, 5-0 shows you this year especially that, geez,
Patrick Mahomes saying defense has been a key factor for the 5-0 record. That was a weird game last night. Again, it's the same Kansas City Chiefs game. They dominated that contest, and then all of a sudden, there you go. They've only got a 3-point lead, and it's in the fourth quarter.
And I heard at the end he did not have a touchdown pass, and I thought he had some giant streak going, so you're thinking he throws touchdowns all the time. So it was over 300 yards, no touchdowns, 26 points, kind of an oddity.
And we got into, let's see, Travis Kelce running the option play to Worthy. That's a nice-looking play. I don't know what Patrick Mahomes was going to do. Was he the second option for the pitch coming on the outside?
Did Kelce even on my YouTube?
Oh, it was
TV,
a right. It was a right option. Yeah, I mean he read it. Yeah, it was. Really,
it took me a second to realize Kelce even got the snap because Kareem took
Hunt,
it so fast.
Hunt is not the biggest guy, but he always gets positive yardage, and it was great because they had a 3rd down and 2, and they ran the football.
Real glass half full kind of guy.
So the Chiefs have a week off.
And as a sports fan, don't you enjoy that? I enjoyed Kansas State's week off last week. I'm like, okay, I don't have to watch that much football this next weekend.
There you go. All the sounds of the past 24 hours. Okay. Coming up, voice of the Cardinals, Cole Reif, talking about Hoisington and Lakin on Friday night, and Mike Corson's other things.
I just want to say how comfortable these headphones are, these new headphones. They sound good. They're snug on my head. Very comforting, secure.
Everybody has a set of headphones until the kleptomaniacs from the morning show.
So we don't get a whole lot of don't get a whole lot of Willie Wildcats, but the first person with a big head might put us down a pair.
That's why I went back to these things. They fit over my head a little bit better. Okay, Cole Reif coming up next year on Sports Day. It's brought to you in part by Equity Bank. there when you need them. Bank local, save big with in-person banking and business banking. Visit equitybank.com for more information. And the American Plains Co-op Bulk Fuel Department feature number 2 clear diesel, bulk fuel, E10 fuel delivery, and all your lubricants and fuel supplies.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
C&E Doors, this is Eddie.
I need some work done.
Are you in a haunted house?
No, it's my garage door. I think I might need a new one.
We can take a look. We can do repairs and replacement. We'll see what's right for you.
What a relief. I thought I was going to get stuck in here.
Call the guys in orange at C&E Doors to fix your haunted house.
C&E Doors, Great Bend. Follow the orange signs just south of 10th and Harrison.
Hey y'all, it's Dr. Ty here at Animal Medical, and in the next couple months, we are going to pivot and talk about behavior and training. From our standpoint, we see it affect so many folks out there in the relationship with their animal and even the relationship with us as their caretaker is all affected by how those animals get started from a training process. Focus on some basics. If you have any questions, call. Large or small, we take care of them all.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
He's the voice of Hoisington High School football, the Barton County Cougars, and the king of the tweeter machine. It's Cole Reif on Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Welcome back. Sports Day here on KVGB. Show brought to you in part by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend, and the Barton Cougar Booster Club continuing their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country. Okay, Royals or Chiefs? What were you watching last night?
Mostly Royals, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, well, I was at City Council last night, so they took up about the first half of the Chiefs. And I could have left a little bit earlier because they had a study session. Study sessions, to me, are kind of the optional part of our news coverage, and depending on what the topic is. And the topic was about solar panels and whatnot, and it went on and on and on. And I was going to leave, but then, like, I'm a little bit superstitious. So, like, they were doing just fine with me sitting there watching on my phone, like, you know, and doing the game cast. And so I didn't leave. So they continued to win. So I stayed there for the entirety of the study session. So, but then when I got back here, I watched the Royals. We do not have. Let's see, what was is it on ESPN for the Royal or the Chiefs? Anyway, we don't have that. Yeah, it was on ESPN. We don't have that here at Eagle Media, FYI. So I was forced to watch the Royals, which we have TBS, which was really, really good.
We have TV here? I didn't know that.
Well, it's only for a select few. I can't tell you where the TV's at. But so I was able to watch Kansas City. So well, the Royals, I should say. So I watched them for the most part. Then I tailed off with the Chiefs.
Must be for you full timers. You know, they just cut our part-timer stuff off.
Yeah, you can't be distracted in your limited time here.
Well, yeah, exactly. So they win it last night, and so we'll have Royals baseball for you tomorrow. Okay, last week on the show, one of the things you said you wanted to see from Hoisington against Cheney was make them work for it.
Yep, they did.
Yep, good.
They did. Unfortunately, Hoisington didn't put in their full work. So they dropped the ball. I mean, I think not only, I won't say overall, but I think, gosh, well, I don't want to say majority. I'll put it as half. I think half of the game, Hoisington played better than Cheney. I think that game man, right there to take. Like they take 4 minutes off the clock on Cheney's opening drive, score. To me, I thought that was making Cheney work for it. Like they had to use 4 minutes. I mean, they were dinking and dunking everywhere, wherever they wanted, but took up 4 minutes off the clock. I was pretty happy. Get the ball back, get a good return from Carson Mason across the 40. First play from scrimmage, Taryn Kraft goes for 7 or 8 yards, fumble. First play from scrimmage, right at midfield. Cheney comes right back, scores on the second drive, quickly 14-0. You're like, man, you got the feeling at that point, like Cheney might score on every drive. Like, who knows what Hoistington can do, but Cheney might not be stopped at all. So for them to finally get that stop, go get a score, make it a one-score game at 14-6, and with about 3.5 minutes to go until halftime, you're thinking, okay, hey, we get one, if Hoisington gets one defensive stop and you're within one score at halftime against, defending state champs, blah, 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 and you get the ball at the second half, let's go. They give up a quick score, makes it 20-6 at halftime, but even at that, because you're sitting at halftime, Hoisington turned it over 3 times in the first half. Their first 3 possessions were offensive fumble, and then the punt that Tua couldn't hold on to, Carson Mason couldn't hold on to on a fair catch call, went over his shoulder, touched it, Cheney recovered. That was their first 3 possessions. And one of those offensive fumbles, they drove it all the way down to the Cheney 6-yard line. So they were on the verge of, at that point, would have been, tying the ball game up. So, like that was like, okay, hey, you're within a couple scores, you get the ball, like, let's go. There's no way it's going to be any worse than it was in the first half with 3 turnovers, and you're within 2 scores. Never seen it. I mean, like, very opening kickoff of the second half. They fail to get the kickoff. Cheney recovers it at the 24-yard line. Easy score. Very next kickoff, same thing. Like it was just like you're just scratching your head, like back-to-back kickoffs where you just fail to go get the football. And Cheney started again at the 25-yard line that time, and then by that time they punched in. It was 34-6 at that point. Hoisington, and then once they held on to the football, like they scored. Like you look at I don't know how total possessions Hoisington had.
Did they have 7 turnovers in the game?
Yeah. So you think about.
If you just tell me they had 7 turnovers, it's going to be 70-0.
Yeah. You scored 3 touchdowns and you had 7 turnovers. That's 10 possessions. So you're talking about 10 possessions, 7 turnovers, and 3 touchdowns, and then, I think that was it. So Hoisington was there, and yet they weren't. I don't want to sound contradictory, but like they were there and they weren't. You can't make those mistakes. Obviously, even against like Lakin this Friday night. You can't turn the ball over 7 times. Lakin's improved, but against Cheney, there's just so little room for error. But I thought. From about midway through the first quarter, Hoisington played even, if not better than Cheney in between the 20s, but you can't have 7 turnovers.
Okay. So this is like a long movie, right? You go to the Golden Belt Cinema 6. We've reached intermission, okay? First part of this is over. Forget about that. It did. Now the second one, and it starts against Lakin. And last week, Mike Corson chided me because I said, okay, if Great Bend's going to go, get where they want to this year, they'll go to Dodge City and win by 21 points. So Lakin does not scare me at all. They're not very physical. They play
Have you seen
them? I've seen them in the past.
Okay. I didn't know if you guys officially. Okay.
No, we haven't got them. But I'm just seeing what they've been in the past.
I agree. The reputation's there for some of those Western teams. So we talked about it when, Hoisington was out in Scott City. Outside of Scott City, Holcomb, there hasn't been a whole lot of success with the smaller classifications in football. I completely agree. And Lakin's, had a lot of those years where they've been, 8-1, 7-1, and they've come and got, bounced early in the first round or the second round of the playoffs. I think this Lakin team, I'm not trying to say that, they're state championship contenders, but I think this Lakin team is different just because of the senior class that they have right now. We've been watching Coulter Oldham for the last 3 years in his progression and just being a really good player, physical back, big body type guy. But then, like Ross Ryder, their offensive line's a little bit more experienced. Now, like I said, they're 4-1. Their only loss is to Hugoton. Hugoton's usually pretty good, and they were in that ball game. So I'm not going to say that, it's a completely different Lakin team, but, it's a much more winnable game for Hoisington's schedule purposes, but I think it's an improved Lakin team that we've seen in the past.
Okay, because this is the second. Okay, 2A rankings are out, right?
Yeah.
Southeast Saline won.
I feel good. I made that switch this week, and usually I do not penalize teams if they continue to win. But I feel like Norton, they've had a couple squeakers, and in Southeast Saline, like early on, they had the win against Clay Center. Like, I just feel like they've had more quality. So I leapfrog Southeast.
I absolutely.
Yeah.
We've had Norton twice,
Mm-hmm.
okay, including Friday night with Beloit. Unbelievable football game.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk to the Beloit people, say, well, Southeast of Salina came down, there was a pick six return, and then there was a turnover that Southeast scored like 16 points in a span of like 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That game ended up 32-6. Beloit impressed me a lot.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe Beloit's better than I
Beloit
thought.
is huge up front.
Yeah.
Defensively. Norton cannot run the football. They're missing their best lineman. He may or may not be back by the postseason. And you talk about yelling at the screen when the Chiefs get tricky when it's 3rd down and 1. Norton has a toy at quarterback, the Jones kid. Good player.
Great player.
But Norton, believe it or not, has turned into a finesse team.
Yep.
They could not run the ball. They had the ball the entire fourth quarter in Beloit's territory. Beloit had 3 goal line stands. And then Brad Gober, I know he's saying, they turn him over again, and then on a first down play, they're moving the ball. They've got a chance to and they throw an interception on first down.
Mm-hmm.
And then Norton finally what I'm saying is, Cole, 2A West is wide open.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think even with that said, Southeast and Norton are still on a different level than everybody else. It's theirs to lose, but
I got you.
I think Hoisington's going to have their shot.
Exactly.
They're going to get now. You can say, hey, you played really good against Cheney, you still lost. You played really good against Heston, you still lost. But eventually, you have to win some of those close games or games that you felt like you had a chance in. So that's going to be up for question still, when they get into those big games. But like we said, there's not going to be anybody better than what Hoisington has played already. Norton's going to be good, Southeast is going to be good. But are they going to be better than Cheney? No. That's
Are they going to
tough.
put fear in Hoisington's heart?
Yeah, and now
they beat them both of them last year.
Now, sometimes there's certain things that provide matchup problems. You might match up really well with a phenomenal team like Cheney, and then you go to a different team that other people would say, hey, they're lesser or they're, not as good, but this one thing causes us problems. That's a weakness for us. So sometimes there's matchup problems that create some issues. But, yeah, I really like it. I really like the West. And good news on the injury front.
That's where we're going now.
Yeah, your weekly Hoisington
We're going to have new stars in the second half of the show.
It's like getting toys back. It's like, so you're going in the toy chest and you haven't seen something that was buried underneath some papers or whatever, and I got a new toy. Kyler Russell expected to be back this week. He'll be practicing. Possibility Jason Robinson comes back this week. Taylor Morales, he's still out for a while. I would say, best case scenario that he comes back, maybe week 8, final week of the season or right before playoffs. And that's best case scenario. But he's a guy that, talking to the coaching staff, that he has it in his head, I'm getting back. Sometimes, at the high school level, depending on what year you are and whatnot, you don't always have that. It's okay, maybe I just want to get better for the winter sports or, what. Talon is dead set on hey, I'm getting back for this season. He loves it. So if all the guys that had to get hurt, I'm most confident that he's going to make, every effort to get back out on the field. So Kyler Russell, possibly J-Rob coming back. I'm just excited for these next 3 weeks to see how they go.
It's the second half of the show. And I'm going to tell you something. You're not going to believe me. Do you know Beloit played the entire game with 2 split out wide receivers.
No.
Yes.
No, not the entire game.
Yes, the entire game.
No.
And what it has done is
Brad Gilbert's going to get shooed out of town.
It's opened that middle up a lot more. The only thing is they're going to get back. Rex Rote ran the ball 33 times. And that's
they've had that issue in the past where it was Benson Barrett, in the years past where I thought he was potentially overused.
Yeah, he wasn't.
So
he ran the ball 44 times against Hillsborough in the playoffs, and then ended up not playing in the state championship game. But
and Hoisington has run into that issue a little bit with Taryn Kraft. I mean, he's battled a hamstring issue for a number of times. I mean, he had 8 carries, really good yardage in the first half Friday night against Cheney, and then he didn't touch it at all in the second half. Trying to fight through that hamstring. Now he can still play defense, but when you're trying to explode offensively, and that's an issue. I mean, they need Taryn, if they want to be as good as they want to be. So, I mean, yeah, they've had that issue too as far as wear and tear, but like his carries per game are anywhere close to usually like Beloit running backs. But
yes, and it's, even though they're 18-year-olds and they're, just go check it out when you say, show me this. Webster's telling me this myth that Beloit had 2 split out wide receivers.
They still do the hurry up from the huddle?
No. It's kind of a modified version.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, they took the opening drive. It was like there was 3 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock when they ran out of downs on their opening drive against Beloit. And then against Norton. And then Norton got the ball back, went 3 and out, and then Hoisington, got to get the teams here. Then Beloit went down and scored their touchdown with 7 minutes to go in the first half, and Norton had run 3 plays by that time.
Wow.
I mean, people are still arriving at the field, and it's halftime. Sheesh. Unbelievable.
Yeah, 2A West will be fun. I mean, Ellsworth. Ellsworth hasn't had the
5-0.
They don't have maybe the strength of schedule yet. I mean, obviously they'll hit Southeast of Saline at the end of the year, but 5-0 is 5-0. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are just kind of like, let's see what happens.
Part 2.
And I just love that.
Big Cardinal football.
Yeah, going in 1-4. Like people are like, I think coaches know, like Chris Bamberger for Lakin and Keith for Larned and for Cimarron, but like I think they know that like maybe this Hoisington team's better than 1-4, but the rest of the state has written them off, so that's fine.
I mean, Chris is going to be telling his guys this week, don't overlook Hoisington.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, you always remember a bloody nose from the past, don't you? Yeah, pretty much. All right, Cole Reif with us here on Sports Day. We're going to talk Barton Volleyball coming up next here on Sports Day.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
If you're needing a healthcare plan for your business, let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's need. Regardless if you're a large corporation or a small business on Main Street, Freedom Claims Management Incorporated can help you provide your employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. Visit freedomclaimsinc.com where you can schedule a free, no obligation health assessment today. Freedom Claims Management Incorporated in Great Bend.
Hey high school seniors, ready to figure out what's next? Barton Community College's Senior Day is the place to be on November 20th. Whether your dream starts with tackling your gen eds and transferring to a university, or you want to dive straight into a technical program that can land you a job in as little as 1 semester, Barton has you covered. Did we mention that there's $6,000 in scholarships up for grabs? Sign up before November 4th at seniorday.bartonccc.edu. Your future's waiting. Discover it at Senior Day.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
The playoffs continue on ESPN Radio.
Playing a line drive, base hit, left field. That's headed to the wall, and headed home is Trey Turner, and the Phillies have won Game 2.
The Mets and Phillies, locked up at 1 game each. Shift to Queens for a pivotal Game 3.
All part of a Tuesday NLDS doubleheader. Coverage at 3:30 on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, followed by the Dodgers and Padres.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of Your Local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Welcome back, Sports Day here on KVGB.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
dear Anna. Happy birthday to you. I can't sing, but that's fine. All right, welcome back, Sports Day here on KVGB. Time to talk Barton volleyball. Megan Bessiker is in, head coach of the Lady Cougars, and joining us is sophomore Anna Verbicki. Did I get that?
Yes.
Who's having a birthday today? Happy birthday, Anna.
Thank you.
Okay, got that out of the way. We didn't have a cake. We didn't have time to run down and get one. All right, Barton Lady Cougars, 5th in the new poll that came out today nationally, going on the road last night. See, I'm not a big fan of Butler. They always call it the power plant. It's just a good way to dress up, like, just a cruddy old gray place to play. You go on the road, get a big win tonight, or last night, Megan. Yes. Congratulations. Great match.
Yep, last night they tested us a little bit. We lost our first set in conference play, but we talked about that as a team. We knew last year playing Butler the second time was tougher. They ended up getting us the second time, and just the second round in general is going to be a lot tougher than the first round was. Everybody's improved, and everyone's getting better, and we're the team everyone wants to beat.
That's why you like those tough matches where and anyone who said, well, maybe a loss is good for it. No, it's not good for it. But you faced a little adversity last night. That's always good to see how your team reacts to that. It must have been pretty good.
We did. We struggled with some things early, some uncharacteristic errors that we have, and even the second set, it still took us a little bit to get settled in, but we ended up coming back. They had 3 match points, and we battled back, won the set, and after that, we were definitely settled in, and we played really well after that.
Can you tell when your team's settled in?
Yeah, I can tell the pressure kind of gets off of them a little bit. We start to swing a little harder. We're a little bit more aggressive. We're just in system a little bit more, and it just took us longer than normal to get there last night. Part of that was just us, but a big part of that, too, was Butler did a pretty good job last night. They played one of their best games of the season, and they're good.
Anna, your thoughts last night? I believe, 7 kills. Is that right? Would that be
Possibly,
accurate?
I don't really remember.
Okay, well,
she hit it a very high clip. So
okay, hitting 34% for the year. Is that good?
340, yep.
Yep, 340. Okay. Mm-hmm. Anna, what did you think last night going to El Dorado and the feelings to get a win down there?
Oh, I think it's a really hard game, but it's good.
What were you expecting from Butler? I mean, it was the second time you had seen them this year.
What makes Butler hard to play?
I think the setter.
Okay.
She's really good.
Okay. What was the feeling after the match in the locker room with all your teammates?
The first time, I'm really mad because the team is nervous about the game, and about the game, oh my God!
It got better as it went on.
So, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go again. How did you find out about Anna? How did Anna find out about you, Megan Bessiker?
So Anna has an agent that helps her a lot, just like a lot of the internationals do. But Anna was actually the only one that was signed before I got here. So I kind of got her as a gift. She had signed with the previous coach, so we got to know each other. Coming in, I have worked with her agent before, though, so it wasn't super new. But coming in, she's done a great job. She came here not knowing any English at all. And now she's nervous today, but she can communicate very well with us now. She knows all the English now, and she's really worked hard to get to that point.
Anna, talk about when you first started to like volleyball as a young girl in Brazil.
How old were you?
15.
15?
Yeah.
Is volleyball a big sport in Brazil?
Yes.
Okay. So, and you started playing and you thought, okay, I'm pretty good at this? Yeah. So, and what town, what's hometown in Brazil?
Where do you live in Brazil?
Goiás.
Okay. Okay. And what were your thoughts on coming to Great Bend? What were your impressions? What did you think the first time you got to Great Bend?
I think the language is very different.
Yes.
And the places is different. The homes is different. The families here is different. The school is different.
Yeah. Everything's different.
You get homesick?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would too. I would too. Megan, you turn right back around now. This team's been incredibly consistent over the years. So what about Wednesday night? Now you go on the road again to Pratt. Focus, focus, focus.
Yep, we're focusing on every team pretty much equally. You know, Pratt's here. We know we have Colby after that. So obviously that's a really big focus, and it's our next home game. But we talked about, again, like I mentioned earlier, the second round of conference is tough. And so Pratt's playing better this year than they did last year, so we know that we can't just kind of look over them. We still have to focus on that game, and then we'll move forward.
Okay, as you look down the schedule coming up, and first of all, how was the weekend off?
Did you enjoy having Saturday off?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was because you go in and of course, then you had the weekend off, and then you play on a Monday.
Yes.
You'll play at Pratt on Wednesday. Then you have a whole week off. Colby, I believe, is ranked 8th this week. Yes, a whole week to get ready for them. So that's 2 weekends off in a row?
It is. Our only 2 weekends off, and they're back-to-back. But I think it'll be good to just get some rest in the midseason. You know, you go games, and then tournament right into conference, and then you have to make up some conference games for going to some weekend tournaments. So it'll be a good, get this Pratt game out of the way tomorrow, and then have a little break over the weekend, and then get back at it for Colby. That's obviously a game that's highlighted on everybody's calendars, ours, theirs, anybody throughout the conference, and we're hoping we can have a big crowd like we did kind of for our Butler game at the beginning of season. Just that's going to be a super high-level match that we get to play at home, and hopefully, go up 2 games in the conference instead of being tied.
Okay, what do you feel good about this team right now? And maybe some things maybe you still need to tighten up a little bit.
I feel really good. I feel like we're very balanced, which we've talked about, but that helps on games where somebody's off. Our bench players have stepped up more recently too, as far as when we get them in the game. They're putting up numbers. They're not just there. They're actually putting up some pretty good numbers too. So that's where I'm feeling good about. There's nothing really I'm concerned about right now. Last night, though, we did show signs of, our serve receive was off a little bit, and that's something we're always consistent at. Our blocking was off just a little bit, and that's something we're all consistent at. But like I said, that's in part to us, but also Butler did a good job of putting us in those situations. So just making sure that we bounce back from it and we don't let it on for more than one set.
All right, Megan, one important thing for you, Anna, before you go. Another weekend off. So what are the weekend plans with your teammates coming up on Saturday?
Birthday dinner? Birthday dinner?
Yeah.
I asked her if they were going to go out to eat for her birthday today, and she goes, probably not till this weekend since we have it off. So,
very good. Anna, thanks for joining us.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, God bless you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Anna. We'll have more Sports Day coming up right after this.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
At Great Bend Rack, pick up a program guide or stop by the Rack office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend. Or check out the website, greatbendrack.com. Live, play, explore at the Rack.
It's all here at Great Bend Rack. Live, play, explore at the Rack.
Discover textbook freedom with Barton Community College's new low-cost degree pathway. With Pathway certified online courses, you get the Barton guaranteed option that your textbooks and course materials will cost $50 or less per class. Whether you want to earn your associate degree or transfer credits to a four-year university, Barton offers flexible online courses and personalized support. Achieving your goals is now easier and more affordable. Learn more at textbookfreedom.bartonccc.edu.
Pulling acres ahead of the competition is simple. Cenex Maxtron synthetic diesel engine oils give you the smartest oil for the toughest conditions. These premium oils are formulated with EnduroVis technology and a balanced additive package to control deposits for a cleaner, more efficient engine that gives you proven durability. Cenex Maxtron diesel engine oils. Oil that runs smart.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Mike Corson joined today by members of the Great Bend High School soccer team. We've got Coach Chuy Loera, Senior Diego Pasos, and Junior Eli Contreras. How many of you guys are first-timers in here today?
Both of us. Both of us.
Uh-oh. Me too, so let's try to get through this. Chuy, who are we sponsored by today?
Today we got Freedom Claims Management, innovative healthcare plans for your business. Let them take care of everything for you. From the start to finish and continued support, they have you covered. Animal Medical Center. Sports Day is brought to you in part by the Medical Center in Great Bend. Big or small, they'll take care of them all.
Take care of them all. Speaking of taking care, it's been a couple of weeks, some scheduling conflicts and been busy, Royal stuff. So it's been a little bit since you guys have been in. Quick update on the record and what you guys have been doing.
Yeah, we're picking up steam right at the right time towards the end of the season, kind of in the middle third of it, and picked up a good win, quality win against Wichita West last Thursday. We got a good opponent that we measure up well with in Breen Academy. And then last Tuesday we competed very well against Garden City. Took a 1-0 loss, but I like the way we're competing and the direction we're going, and I think we've got a good chance to keep things competitive and interesting the rest of the way.
Diego, you've been around for a while, 3-year varsity kid. Start the game off kind of a big loss against Liberal, but all the other games pretty much have been close, a couple wins in there. What's been the turnaround into making all these games competitive?
I just think this year we wanted more than last year, especially last year, how our season went. We've just wanted more. And so we've been working harder at practices, putting more effort during the games, and communicating.
What is the switch from making them close to getting on the other side of that win column?
Well, it's just building plays, working together. Like I said, we have to build plays from the back. That's probably, I think, where we struggled most, was not trying to make how we worked going up. And this year we've been putting more plays together.
So, Diego, saw you on the football field a couple weeks ago. You looked a lot bigger as a homecoming king. What was that experience like for you, being homecoming king?
It was just so surreal. I was happy. I was on homecoming court my freshman year, and it was me and Addie made a joke saying that we'd be king queen our senior year, and we didn't actually expect for it to happen. But
what does that happen? So I know they announce it about a week early. Do you have to campaign and get some of those straggler votes?
Usually you can campaign if you like, but I wasn't really much of a big person to campaign for myself.
The other big thing you're doing this year is you're one of the kind of the rare dual sport kids, also a cross-country runner. So the kicker is homecoming Friday night at Great Bend High School, Rimrock up in Lawrence the next morning, and you led the team that day. What was the process of getting up there and getting ready to run that next day?
I think I woke up around like 4 in the morning. We headed out. I had packed the night before, and we headed out at like 4 or 5 in the morning. I made sure to sleep on the whole way there, so I was rested for that run. And then it was just taking my warm-up seriously that morning because I knew I was out late that night before. So
typically, Taven's up there with the leaders, but probably not the best sleep you've ever had. Did you expect to be the leader that day for the Panthers?
No, I expected myself not to compete as great as I thought I did. But it was because I knew that I wasn't going to get the proper rest that I needed and everything. But once I went out there, I gave it my all. And especially with it being my first time running Rimrock, that course and those hills, pretty hard hills, I just ran as best I could, put it all in.
What was sleep like Saturday night?
I think I went to bed around 12:30 because I had to pack and everything.
The next night.
The next night? Went home, passed out.
That was senior Diego Pasos, homecoming king and dual sport athlete for the Panther soccer and cross-country teams. Junior Eli Contreras, you've been playing goalkeeper since your sophomore year. Coach, have we had a keeper in yet?
No, this year Eli's our first one.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious. I coached and kind of grew up in the indoor soccer world where the net's really small, but you didn't. Where does one become an outdoor goalie?
Well, for me, it was just one day in middle school where my friends just realized that there was no goalkeeper, and they just told me to join up, and then I went on from there.
And did I say it right? Is it goalie or are you a keeper?
It's both. I say I'm a keeper.
So when you walked in, how tall are you?
I'm 6'3".
Okay. So Hesh says, you're too big to be a soccer player, so he didn't know you were a keeper. Does size play we've kind of seen them all sizes. Do you like the 6'3" in there?
Yeah, it helps a lot with any time where there's some players that try to chip you, and the height just helps, and you can just reach it a lot easier.
So what makes a good keeper? Because you're a nice, big, strong-looking kid, but skinny and fast, big and strong. What's kind of the mix there?
Honestly, it's better. You want to be strong in order to get them hard shots that are going straight at you, but it's a big reaction timing, so you want to be quick on your feet and quick with reaction. Just want to get there quick.
Hey, on that note, I was an undersized high schooler, played on the very first varsity game here, but didn't quite finish out the season. One time in practice, went up against the keeper and about got knocked out. And he was smaller than you were, so I can imagine how intimidating that is. So watching a lot of soccer on TV, we're familiar with set pieces and whatnot. Kind of what is your role there, and what are you seeing when you're having to move your guys around to help you block out parts of the net?
So basically, anytime there's a free kick or anything, I want about basically 2 to 4 people, depends how close they are. I want to be covering my left side because usually my left side's a little weaker, and I make them cover that side so I can really cover the other side of the goal, and then it just makes it easier, a harder look for the other opponent.
What's the learning curve on that? Is that just personal feel for you that's where you feel comfortable, or is there anything that you've learned from that?
Yeah, no, it's just a more comforting spot for me, to have them cover my left side. Just a lot easier, and just how I learned, always how I played it.
How many penalty shots have you taken?
This year, I think it's about 4.
How many has our team taken?
Has he defended?
Oh, no, I haven't blocked any. There's just 2 times where they just missed from pressure.
But your guys are committing fouls in the box?
Yeah, sometimes. They let me down. No, I'm kidding. They all do great.
But so on TV, those guys all have scouting reports. We know Messi's taking 80% of his shots here. I'm guessing you don't have any idea where that kid's going to kick the ball. What are your reads as he's approaching?
Well, for me, I look at any little thing that just hints at where they're going. Sometimes they look to the right, but they do it to throw you off. They just only stare there just to throw you off. So I say go left. And then you just have to commit early so you can cover it.
And you say you've forced 2 of them wide?
Yeah. Yes.
What's that feel like? Because the odds are against the keeper. So what's it like when, even if you don't touch it, you played a role in keeping it out?
Oh, yeah, luckiest man alive. That's how I feel every time.
Diego, you ever take shots against this guy in practice?
Yeah, he usually blocks them.
For real?
We got a good keep.
2-8. What was the key? Wichita West 6A school, 3-2 win for you guys. What were some of the keys for that one, Coach?
Take care of the midfield. We knew that it was going to be a battle of the midfield, and so we wanted to make sure we defended and attacked and possessed better than the other team, and that's exactly what we did. A couple of times they got away from us, and they were able to get 2 goals. But once we made adjustments at halftime, these guys did a good job executing those adjustments, and we were able to take care of business the rest of the way. But it was the midfield that made the difference.
Kids, we're not going to play what the New York Yankees did to the Royals last night with bulletin board material, but you do have a team coming in tonight that maybe you can get some goals against, maybe you can get a win against. What's the mindset of, hey, this is one we're supposed to win tonight, Diego?
We're just carrying on the same way we've been playing these past 2 games. We've been putting in full effort and committing and talking, communicating, and I feel like tonight is just we got to have the same mindset as we did this past 2 games and put it all on the field.
Any preparation you do ahead of any certain I know you're probably more familiar with some of the WAC opponents, but got a kind of a different team like a 2A school, Berean Academy coming in. Anything you do different as keeper to prepare for those?
No, for every game it's the same for me. I just prepare the same way, just same mentality, that just clean sheet every time. That's the only thing that goes through my head is just don't let them score and we're good.
We talk about short memory a lot in sports, and 3-2, 1-0, 2-0, so not a lot of scoring in soccer. On the chance that you get one by you, how quick is your memory to say no more today?
Oh, it's usually instantly. Like, I just see the problem. If it's a mistake on me, then I'll just worry about it later. If it's on my teammate, I'll tell them to just forget about it, and then we'll get it next time.
Coach, what are we about, midway through the season then?
Yes.
Exactly?
Yeah, we're about the midway point, and we've got, a couple weeks left, and hopefully we can get some November action.
Senior Diego Pasos, Junior Eli Contreras, Panther soccer coach Chuy Loera, thanks for joining us. What time are you guys going today at the Cav?
Kickoff 6:30 at the Cav. Free admission. Make your way out, make some noise, and watch the boys work hard.
Beautiful weather. Yep, get out there, support some Panther soccer. Good luck today, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
More Sports Day after this.
Seeing you doors, this is Eddie.
I need some work done.
Are you in a haunted house?
No, it's my garage door. I think I might need a new one.
We can take a look. We can do repairs and replacement. We'll see what's right for you.
What a relief. I thought I was going to get stuck in here.
Call the guys in orange at C&D Doors to fix your haunted house.
C&D Doors, Great Bend. Follow the orange signs just south of 10th and Harrison.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey, that's our show today. Otis Bison football tomorrow. Mark Cole's in with a couple seniors. Talk to you then.